friends, this is Dipti and welcome to my channel Life Admin 365 and welcome to today's video. Today's video is meal prep video. Typically I do my meal prep either on Saturday, Sunday or on Sunday, Monday, but this meal prep I started doing on a Thursday evening, took a break overnight and then resumed it today, Friday evening, and hoping to get everything done by the end of Friday. Yesterday I prepped a bunch of veggies and I also prepped that huge can of crushed tomatoes. So I portioned them out in several jars. Some I kept in my refrigerator for immediate use and the others I put them in my freezer. I'm going to get my apron on. I'm going to grab some coffee so that I have some energy to get through this meal prep. And if you like content like this, do stick around, give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. Like I mentioned in my intro, I prepped a bunch of veggies yesterday. Started with spinach, picked spinach leaves, rinsed them in lemon juice water, drained and spin dried and then air dried them and then stored them in a paper lined food safe plastic container. Next in line were mushrooms. I removed their stems, wiped them with a damp towel and stored them in a paper lined food safe container. The next in line were 2 heads of cauliflower. I separated the florets, did the same rinsing process, then air dried them and then transferred them into 2 portions. So one portion was in the glass jars which was for immediate use and the other portion I transferred in a freezer safe bag for later use. Followed by portioning of sprouted mung beans. I had soaked these the previous day and today morning I had put them for sprouting in a warm place. I portioned them out in a glass container for immediate use and in a freezer safe bag for use at a later time. Next, I collected all the scraps from the prepared veggies like the mushroom stems, spinach stems, onion peels and celery leaves and ends. I rinsed and air dried these and then stored them in a freezer safe bag. I'm going to use these to make my vegetable stock, which I used it for making my red curry and broccoli soup. The last veggie were the celery sticks. I had thoroughly washed these under running water, chopped off the tops and the ends and saved them for stock. Put the stalks in the jar filled with filtered water and refrigerated them. These are good for snacking with almond or peanut butter during the day. In addition to prepping the veggies, I also prepped onions, black and pinto beans for a tacos and cubed paneer blocks and froze those paneer pieces. Moving on to today's meal prep. I began today's meal prep by shredding cabbage for making Manchurian balls. I sliced the cabbage in half, removed the top knob and the central core and then sliced it into wedges to fit in the chute of the food processor. I shredded the entire cabbage head, emptied the shreds into a colander lined with a cotton cloth, generously salted the cabbage shreds with pink Himalayan salt, massaged the salt well into the shreds. After about 30 minutes, wrung out as much water as possible from these shreds. During this 30-minute wait, started preparing for broccoli tikkas. Washed and prepped broccoli florets, then pulse blended these to form a course meal. I used only the florets and not the stems for making the tikka. To this added prepped cauliflower florets from my Thursday's meal prep and pulse blended to get a uniform mixture. Transferred this mixture to a colander lined with a kitchen towel and salted it generously and let it hang around for 30 to 40 minutes. In that time, I prepared paneer by cutting it into pieces so as to fit in the chute of the food processor. Transferred the paneer shreds to a large mixing bowl, went back to broccoli cauliflower mixture, wrung out as much water as possible and added this ball to the bowl with paneer shreds, getting everything mixed up to get uniform mixture. Seasoned it with salt, red chili flakes, garlic powder and crushed kasuri methi, then mixed everything thoroughly and started preparing potatoes to go in this mixture. I had boiled, peeled and cubed the potatoes and refrigerated them as part of my yesterday's meal prep, seasoning it with crushed kasuri methi, red chili paste and salt. After mixing the seasonings with the potatoes, I added the seasoned cauliflower broccoli mixture to these potatoes and gave everything a mix once more. I was adding this mixture in parts and was taste testing to make sure that the entire mixture was appropriately seasoned. And then using an ice cream scoop, scooped out a portion of this mixture and pressed it down to form a small patty or tikki. Then I took about 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and dipped each tikki into the cornstarch and coated it lightly on all sides, dusting off the excess and shaping if necessary. Oh my god, look at these tikkis. Aren't they beautiful? Halfway through this process, I got my electrical griddle preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And by the time the griddle was hot, I had finished coating all the tikkis with cornstarch, greased the griddle with ghee and placed coated tikkis on top of it, coated the top surface of the tikki with ghee and cooked the bottom side for about 5 to 7 minutes, flipped the bottom to the top and the top to the bottom, and after about 5 to 7 minutes of cooking, turned off the power, transfer the tikkis to a glass container and let it cool. Next in line was Dabeli mixture or the Dabeli filling. Started by heating a skillet on medium-high heat, added 3 to 4 tablespoons oil. To this I added the remaining portion of previously prepared boiled and coarsely crushed potatoes. After mixing these well with the oil, I seasoned them with salt and about 2 to 3 tablespoons of Dabeli masala, mixed everything well. However, the mixture was still a bit coarse for my liking, so I used the backside of a large spoon to mash it further and to make it into a much smoother consistency. Then added finely chopped cilantro, lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of sugar and mixed everything thoroughly. Then transferred this to a glass container and let it cool before refrigerating. One more item checked off my to-do list for today. I put meal prep on hold and enjoyed dinner with my family, which was very simple pasta in marinara sauce along with some steamed broccoli on the side. It was almost 8 p.m. before I resumed with my meal prep, back to making Manchurian balls. In my paratha, I added wrung out shredded cabbage, about 4 or 5 cups, 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, 2 tablespoons of crushed garlic, 1 tablespoon of red chili flakes, 2 tablespoons of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of powdered garlic and 1 teaspoon of powdered black pepper. Mixed until everything became a uniform mixture. Then added cornstarch and all-purpose flour or maida. Ended up adding close to half cup of cornstarch and half a cup of all-purpose flour. Then added salt to adjust to taste and mixed everything well. Then roughly portioned out similar sized pieces from this ball. Rolled each of these pieces into my hand, and halfway through shaping these into balls, I started heating my appe pan. I was not going to fry these Manchurian balls. I was going to cook them in my appe pan. I got about 21 pieces in all. I added a few drops of oil to each slot of appe pan, then added the Manchurian balls, topped the balls with some more oil and turned up the heat from medium to medium high. Turned the Manchurian balls around so that they could cook from all sides. Top them once more with a few drops of oil. When they looked like they were cooked from all sides, remove them from the appe pan. Repeated the same process for the remaining uncooked Manchurian balls. It was close to 9 p.m. by the time I finished making these. I was on my last step of today's meal prep, which was prepping the veggies. Started to prep bunch of green beans, chopped off both the ends and then roughly chopped half of these for pav bhaji and transferred these to a large plate. Finally chopped the other half for making bhaji. Next in the line was 6 green peppers and 2 red peppers. This was the most dreading task for me. I just didn't want to do it. Too much of slicing and dicing involved for several different dishes and a little bit confusing as well. Started with green peppers. After cutting the peppers along the sides and removing the core and the stem portion, I roughly chopped about 2 peppers for making pav bhaji kit. Cut the remaining 4 peppers in the same way, that is from the sides, and remove the core and the stem part. I cut 2 of these into long strips, then dice them into medium dice. I'm planning to use these medium dice for making besan pepper bhaji. Anyways, transfer these diced peppers to a freezer safe container and froze them for later use. Typically I flash freeze prepped veggies, but today I just wanted to get through, so I skipped this step and put them directly in a freezer safe container. For the last 2 peppers, I julienne them into thin long strips. Initially my plan was to use all of these pepper strips along with the red peppers for making veg hakka noodles, but then I had a different idea. I remembered I had all ingredients to make Thai red curry, so I decided to use half of these peppers for the red curry. So instead of finishing with prepping the green peppers, I jumped the gun and started preparing red peppers. I cut each pepper into thin strips. Then I transferred 1 pepper worth of red pepper strips to the container with the green peppers. This will be used for hakka noodles. Went back to the remaining green pepper and finished off cutting it into short strips. Then transferred these red and green pepper strips to another paper lined container. These will be used for making Thai red curry. Last on the prep list was a lone carrot that I cut into chunks and transferred it to a plate with pav bhaji ingredients. All I did was transfer the ingredients from this plate to the bag and added previously prepped onions. So when I'm ready to make pav bhaji, all I need to do is add potatoes and green peas and pressure cook all these vegetables along with masala to make pav bhaji in no time. I will freeze this until I'm ready to use. That's it guys, I made it through. If you like this video, do give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so. Bye. Take care y'all.